Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. Today, Kyle Bauer visits with Jude Kastens with Kansas Biological Survey. Next, enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean update. Then Kyle is back with Elmer Ronnebaum with the Kansas Rural Water Association. Next is the Kansas Farm Bureau update, and we'll end with Kyle and Duane Toews and this week's Plain Talk.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first on our show today, Kyle and Jude Kastens discuss the Kansas Biological Survey and the information they supply to the state of Kansas.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Jude Kastens. He's with Kansas Biological Survey. Jude, you grew up on a farm in northwest Kansas, but you've been working with Kansas Biological Survey.
Yeah, since about 1999, I went to the University of Kansas after graduating high school in western Kansas, and so I've been working. Started out as a research staff at the Biological Survey, and worked my way up to a research professor.
You know, I think Kansas Biological Survey is not very well known across the state. Can you lay out for us what you do or what the organization does?
Well, the Biological Survey itself has been around for over 100 years, really much concentrated on the biology of Kansas, the Kansas landscape, and we've gone in a bunch of different directions in recent decades, and in particular I work with satellite remote sensing and different kind of technology that helps us assess different aspects of an interest for Kansans and broader areas than that as well.
I was surprised to hear how big your department is.
Yeah, we've been around. Even the remote sensing arm was originally Kansas Applied Remote Sensing was set up originally with NASA's involvement in the 70s, and so that alone has been around for about 40 years. And they maintain a good relationship with the Geography Department at KU and the Ecology and Evolutionary Department at Evolutionary Biology Department at KU as well. That we split appointments with some of our staff members across those or with those other departments.
Even though you are a state agency, you really don't get a majority of your funding from the state.
No, we specialize in a lot of different grants and contracts, both with applied research in particular. I have a heavy involvement with, but also some fundamental research, in addition to some commercial activities. We try to kind of be very diverse in the funding opportunities and really try to help out, any sort of realm that we can contribute to. So we have large-scale studies and international studies, all the way down to very site-specific field studies.
Being at KU, I assume you probably use personnel there as partial employees or part-time or for projects?
Yes, that's where a number of our staff are split appointment between departments. I myself am a research professor exclusively at the Biological Survey, so a lot of graduate students and undergraduates contribute a lot of the labor and employment, in addition to just some full-time staffers as well.
We're visiting with Jude Kastens. He is with the Kansas Biological Survey. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Stu Duncan, K-State Extension Crops and Soil Specialist for Northeast Kansas, joins us. Stu, coming up in late January, K-State will be putting on 3 soybean production schools with the help of the Kansas Soybean Commission.
Tuesday the 24th, we will be in Parsons. Thursday the 26th in Heston. And Friday the 27th, we'll be up at Highland in northeast Kansas.
These are one-day schools, and you'll be covering several issues facing soybean growers.
We have some new developments in weed control that Dr. Dallas Peterson is going to cover at all 3 of those schools. Not just our best management practices for control, but also some of the new things that are coming, the approval of the dicamba-resistant soybeans for growth in Kansas, and also some of the others, 2,4-D tolerance coming, and HPPD tolerance of our bean varieties. Dr. Dan O'Brien from the Northwest Kansas Extension area is going to be talking about economics. And with low commodity prices, higher inputs, 2017 could really be a challenge. He's going to try to get the whole package wrapped from our other speakers, like Dr. Dorivar Ruiz-Diaz, who's going to be speaking about fertility management. A variety of us are going to talk about some soybean practices, just production practices, with some emphasis in the 2 southern schools on double cropping beans as well as full season beans, but just trying to get the most bang for our bucks and dollars from our wheat acres. And also some on-farm yield limiting factors. A couple of grad students are going to be talking at different schools about their projects, pig weed control after wheat. Marshall Hafe, that's a student here in the department, is going to be discussing his project, especially in regards to double cropping beans. One of our other grad students is going to talk about the yield gaps, just a management-intensive project, Guillermo Balboa. And then we're also going to have a little bit of cover crop research up at Highland, insect issues, on-farm yield limiting factors, and disease management.
Stu, lunch will be provided courtesy of the Kansas Soybean Commission, and there's no cost to attend, but I know you're asking participants to pre-register by January 19th. Is there a website they can do that online?
The website online is bit.ly, bit.ly, all capital KSBEANS, and then lowercase CHOOLS. They can also register with the local county agents. Their emails are available online as well, and phone numbers.
That is Stu Duncan, K-State Extension Crops and Soil Specialist for Northeast Kansas. He's been our guest on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor with Kyle and Elmer Ronnebaum.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Kyle and Elmer Ronnebaum discuss the training and technical assistance offered by the Kansas Rural Water Association based in Seneca.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Elmer Ronnebaum. He is with the Kansas Rural Water Association.
Yes, sir. We're based in Seneca, Kansas. We're a nonprofit organization, and we provide training and technical assistance to rural water districts and municipalities and wastewater utilities, both water and wastewater utilities across the state of Kansas.
You know, as I listened to you visit earlier, you sounded almost unique to me on the way it is. You have members and they pay memberships, but you work a great deal under contract from government agencies.
Yes, we are not any freeloading outfit. We try to provide good services for that. We have a contract with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, which focuses on water quality. We have another contract with the Kansas Water Office, which helps us have staff members out to search for leaks in water systems. The main focus is water conservation. We have 5 contracts which are financed through USDA Rural Development and administered by the National Rural Water Association. And one of those is a wastewater contract. Our wastewater tech is out and does a lot of measuring of sludge in lagoons across the state. We smoke test sanitary sewer systems. And I think the organization is unique because we're a nonprofit. We have staff members with nearly 450 years of experience. 3 of our staff members are retired from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. They are very pragmatic personalities. We help the communities with dealing with all of the compliances and regulations on drinking water and wastewater utilities. And that is really one of the problems in the smaller communities is the local people have difficulty in dealing with the new regulations as they are introduced, and there is a very high percentage of turnover annually among water and wastewater operators, city clerks, and rural water managers.
Just out of frustration?
Some of that out of frustration. We have an unwillingness of many people to get involved in the water utility business because of having to learn and comply with regulations.
If you were to come to my rural water system and fix leaks or detect leaks, would I be charged by the hour?
No, that's unique. We don't charge for any services. The state contracts help with that. We, as an organization, supplement our funding from state and federal contracts. A membership in the association is like 90 cents per meter with a cap of 1,000 services. So the maximum that any community, example, the city of Topeka would pay is $920. A community typically, and we do monitor the cost that go into any community. Our cost out of pocket as an organization often exceeds in one visit what the membership fees would be. Membership fees contribute about 10% of our annual budget.
visiting with Elmer Ronnebaum. He is with Kansas Rural Water Association. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, stay tuned for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Are likely to consider legislation that would reform the rulemaking process for federal agencies, such as the Environmental Protection Agency. AFBF Director of Environment and Energy Policy Paul Schlegel says recent EPA actions highlight the need for change.
We Farm Bureau have been encouraging very strongly Congress to take up the issue because our experience with the waters of the U.S., the WOTUS rulemaking, show us that we need to have changes in the system to make sure that stakeholders like farmers and ranchers are protected when these rulemakings take place.
He says EPA's overreach and scare tactics need to be checked.
We had a circumstance in that particular rulemaking in which the agency effectively was lobbying itself. The way they used social media went over the line as to what we thought was a fair and objective approach to the rule. One of the things we have recommended to the House Judiciary Committee when they take up legislation is to address this question.
He says Congress has an opportunity to improve the rulemaking process in a way that promotes accountability and is fair.
One of them is the mitigation policy that was proposed by the Obama administration. That's something that the Trump administration, because it's strictly an executive order, they can do that on the day the president comes in. We're hopeful there will be a little bit of a change in perspective in EPA as to how they're looking at re-registrations of pesticides. So there's actually a number of things that we want to see addressed.
Michael Clements, Washington.
Come back after the break for this week's Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
person who's involved in ag production and cattle ranching, Bill Rischel here in North Platte, told me about Kansas Regenerative Medicine. And after talking to Dr. Pope, we did a lot of reading and researching, looking on the internet about it. I guess the thing that impressed me is that he told me, he said, if we don't think it's going to help you, we're not going to do it. I thought that was a very good approach. I'm a former athlete, played college basketball, played overseas after college, had some severe trauma on the right ankle, right knee, joint in my hand also. This brace is what I had to wear all the time. Now I don't wear this during the day. That's a real improvement for me. My knee doesn't bother me. This joint came around quick. It was the first thing I noticed improving. You can see in the background here there's different fish and game that I hunt. The ability to walk was impacting my outdoor endeavors. I think it's really valuable, and encourage anybody that's interested to go down and at least do a consultation with them.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to today on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
Kyle Bauer, your fact or fiction question of the day. I'm kind of on a world theme. The wall map has got me inspired. The Caspian Sea.
Do I get to look at the world map too?
No, you can't look at
Caspian
the world map.
Sea.
Caspian Sea, largest inland sea in the world. In fact, you could put all of the Great Lakes water in it at one time. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
It's true.
Oh, come on. That can't be right.
Largest inland sea, Caspian Sea.
Huh. Isn't it over there kind of by the Black Sea?
Yeah, now.
And
I really hate to contradict
you know what?
myself.
When you look at the map, you're going, you know what? It does make those Great Lakes look not so great.
I bet. I hope that's true. I really don't know.
What do you mean it hopes it's true?
I blended a couple of my facts. The deepest lake in the world is in the former USSR, Lake Baikal.
Okay.
And Lake Baikal, deep enough, you could fit all 5 of the next largest lakes, the Great Lakes, could be emptied into it. So how is it bigger? Obviously, the Caspian Sea is bigger than that then. So
I guess obviously you just lied to me.
Yeah. Somebody out there can Google all that, and good luck.
Yeah.
So
scientists turn carbon dioxide into alcohol with a single spark. Have you read about this?
Oh, yeah. A big deal about being able to make ethanol, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Out of carbon dioxide.
Which the guys were pretty excited because they thought they were going to be making methanol, and they made ethanol.
Nobody likes methanol.
Is that right? I didn't know, but I know.
Methanol, back, in the early days when they were the early days of putting alcohol into gasoline, it did not go well because it was made from wood sources, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
All right.
But that was methanol.
And that wasn't as stable?
It did not work nearly as good as ethanol does.
Well, more or less, they take an electric charge, and this is through nanotechnology, which means you really got to have your glasses on to do that.
That was
Robin Williams.
Mork and Mindy.
Yeah. You're too young to remember Mork and Mindy.
Oh, no. I watched that
We
all the
watched that
time.
in college, and you're 10 years younger than me, so
I watched it at home.
You watched it in grammar school while I was watching it in college.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the only show I watched.
Nanotechnology.
Yeah, and basically they make this tiny little spark, and and they were able to do it with platinum and stuff like that, but it's like that's too expensive. So now they're able to do it with a carbon, which carbon is cheap. And all of the world is made up with carbon, make this tiny little spark. Okay, wait a minute. Now, that's just taking electricity to make ethanol, so that's nothing.
What'd you gain?
Didn't gain nothing,
well,
except if I had excess electricity. If I had excess electricity that I couldn't use.
Too full for the grid.
Yeah, and where might that come into play?
Oh, I don't know. Anywhere where you have wind towers?
Yeah, and in the middle of the night when you don't have much of a drain, we go by a lot of times with wind towers, they're shut off because there isn't enough of a call.
Yeah.
They can just run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and anytime the grid doesn't need it,
shoot it over there and make ethanol. Really?
Yeah. Same thing with solar.
Is it with literally carbon dioxide, just gas?
Carbon dioxide and this spark, and there is a polymer that makes the reaction. Okay.
That's the guy that's going to get rich.
There you go. Somebody's got to get rich if something's going to work.
That's the guy. He's
he's laughing all the way to the carbon bank.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.